Welcome to our Hong Kong Brief program. Today, we have a mix of sports, finance, and some Olympic challenges that are making headlines. Let's dive right in. First up, Hong Kong's triathlon coach, Wright, has called for a comprehensive review of the sport after a disappointing performance at the 2024 Olympics. The only Hong Kong triathlete, Ng Tai-long, couldn't finish the race due to a wardrobe malfunction, prompting Wright to question the effectiveness of current investments and strategies. Next, Hong Kong's stock market took a significant hit following unsettling economic data from the U.S. The Hang Seng Index dropped by 1.6%, erasing gains made earlier in the week. Developers, particularly Hongkong Land, reported increased losses, adding to the market's woes. Lastly, journalists covering the 3x3 basketball event at the Paris Olympics are facing logistical nightmares. The venue's distance from public transport and lack of basic amenities like shade and water mist stations are making their job quite challenging, though the fast-paced action of the games provides some relief. Please stay tuned for more details. South China Morning Post. Head coach Wright has voiced his disappointment over Hong Kong's triathlon performance at the 2024 Olympics, where Ng Tai-long, the city's sole competitor, withdrew during the bike leg. Ng's race was marred by a ripped swimsuit early in the 1/500m swim, which hindered his progress. Despite the unfortunate incident, Wright believes a comprehensive review of the city's triathlon program is necessary, given the substantial taxpayer funding it receives. Wright, who has been leading the program since 2020, emphasized the need for better results, citing that while benchmarks for Tier A funding have been met, the performances have not lived up to expectations. He expressed his personal accountability for the outcomes and his commitment to continue leading the team towards the next Olympics in 2028. Wright highlighted the improvements made under his tenure but acknowledged the frustration of not achieving the desired results, particularly given the promising potential shown by athletes like Ng. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong stocks took a significant hit following a surge in U.S. unemployment and a contraction in manufacturing, sparking fears of an economic slowdown. The Hang Seng Index dropped 1.6% to 17,023.59, erasing the week's earlier gains. Major tech stocks such as Tencent and Alibaba saw declines, with HSBC also sliding 3.7%. The electric vehicle sector was not spared, as BYD and Li Auto experienced losses due to intense price competition in China's EV market. The negative sentiment was exacerbated by data showing the U.S. economy cooling, with weekly unemployment claims reaching near a one-year high and manufacturing PMI falling more than expected. This led to widespread declines across major Asian markets, with Japan's Nikkei 255 index and South Korea's Kospi also suffering significant losses. Additionally, local developers faced pressure after Hongkong Land reported a substantial increase in losses, contributing to the overall market downturn. South China Morning Post. Covering the 3x3 basketball event at the Paris Olympics provided a unique perspective on the logistical challenges and the vibrant atmosphere of the Games. Journalists had to navigate a considerable distance from the Madeleine station to the venue at La Concorde Plaza, which also hosted events like breaking, BMX freestyle, and skateboarding. The journey involved a lengthy walk under the scorching sun, with temperatures nearing 30 degrees Celsius. Despite the arduous trek, the view from the press tribune was spectacular, offering an excellent vantage point for the fast-paced action. This setup is something Hong Kong organizers could consider for their events, such as those held in Victoria Park, where press facilities have been subpar. The experience highlighted the need for improvements in local event organization, particularly ahead of the FIBA World Tour Finals in November. Amidst the heat, Hong Kong referee Edmund Ho Ming Tat, who officiated the evening matches, shared his relief at avoiding the daytime heat wave, underscoring the challenges faced by both participants and officials. South China Morning Post, Brad Gorski, known for his stint on the Rachel Zoe project, has become a fashion icon with a sophisticated style that effortlessly blends elegant staples with contemporary accessories. His relationship with Demi Moore began in 2008 when he was an assistant, and his influence on her style is evident. To emulate his look from the Hollywood Reporter's Power Stylists event, consider a sleek Tom Ford blazer, tailored Saint Laurent trousers, a crisp Dunhill shirt, stylish Acani sunglasses, and classic Tod's shoes. Goreski's approach to fashion is a masterclass in combining timeless pieces with modern flair. South China Morning Post, Boucheron's or Blue High Jewelry Collection, inspired by Iceland's natural beauty, transforms the essence of the country's streams, rivers, and glaciers into exquisite pieces. Under the direction of Claire Choisne, the Maison's artisans have crafted jewelry that captures the powerful forms and forces of water, resulting in stunning creations that echo waterfalls, waves, and icicles. The photo shoot, featuring model Meng Ji and styled by Joanne M. Kennedy, showcases the artistry behind these pieces, with a team of professionals including photographer Mike Ruiz and makeup artist Megumi Itano using MAC Cosmetics, bringing the collection to life. South China Morning Post, in the wake of Ng Tai-long's gold medal fencing victory, which sparked outrage in Italy, the focus has shifted to Algerian boxer Imane Khalif. Italy's Angela Carini quit her bout against Khalif, citing the Algerian's strength and high testosterone levels as unfair. This controversy has drawn comments from Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, who criticized the IOC's regulations on testosterone levels in female athletes. Despite the backlash, the IOC and the joint Paris 2024 boxing unit defended Khalif's participation. Irish boxer Amy Broadhurst also supported Khalif, noting that she has been defeated by other female boxers, emphasizing that Khalif's abilities are a natural part of her genetic makeup. South China Morning Post reports that Hongkong Land, the largest landlord in Hong Kong's central business district, experienced a 150% increase in net losses during the first half of the year, amounting to $833 million. The company attributes these losses to weak sales in mainland China's struggling property market and non-cash losses from revaluations of investment properties. Despite a modest underlying loss of $7 million, the company remains optimistic about its fundamentals, citing stable contributions from investment properties and a strong balance sheet. Hongkong Land is set to embark on a $1 billion investment project, Tomorrow Central, aimed at revitalizing its core Hong Kong retail portfolio over the next 3 years. Rosamund Kwan Chi Lam, profiled by South China Morning Post, is a prominent actress from the golden age of Hong Kong cinema. Born in 1962 to movie star parents Quan Shan and Zhang Bingqian, Kwan initially entered the entertainment industry to support her family. She gained international fame for her role as Aunt 13 in the Once Upon a Time in China series alongside Jet Li. Despite her beauty and connections, Kwan often played secondary roles and love interests, feeling unfulfilled in her career. She transitioned to business in the early 2000s, launching a skincare line and a sleepwear collection. Kwan remains active on social media and dedicates herself to philanthropy, redefining her public persona away from the film industry. According to South China Morning Post, Hong Kong faces a growing epidemic of financial scams, with losses nearly doubling to 9.18 billion Hong Kong dollars last year. Scams and frauds differ in that fraud involves unauthorized access to personal information, while scams rely on psychological manipulation. Investment scams caused the most significant financial loss in 2023, followed by impersonation scams. Victims are advised to act immediately by notifying banks and the police. High-profile cases include deepfake scams and the 1.6 billion Hong Kong dollars JPEX cryptocurrency scandal. The Hong Kong Monetary Authority and the police force have introduced initiatives like real-time fraud monitoring and the Scameter search engine to combat these crimes. South China Morning Post, Olympic champion Ng Tai-long, who recently made history by defending his Olympic foil title in Paris, is set to receive a hero's welcome upon his return to Hong Kong. The 27-year-old fencer, who previously secured Hong Kong's only gold medal at the 2020 Tokyo Games, has become a beacon of inspiration, showing what local athletes can achieve on the global stage. Cheng's success is part of a broader wave of achievements for Hong Kong at the Paris Games, including 2 gold and 2 bronze medals. His return follows that of fellow fencer Vivian Kong Man Wai, who became the first Hong Konger to win the women's épée final. The city's athletes have not only won medals but also ignited a sense of pride and possibility among their compatriots, as evidenced by the enthusiastic support and celebrations planned for their homecoming. SCMP opinion, Siobhan Haughey, Hong Kong's most decorated Olympic athlete, continues to inspire with her remarkable performances. The 26-year-old swimmer added 2 bronze medals in Paris to her previous silvers from the Tokyo Games, demonstrating her unwavering dedication and fearlessness. Chief Executive John Lee Kochiu praised her resilience and the morale boost she has provided to the city. Despite the challenges faced by other Hong Kong athletes, such as Tang Chunman and Tsai Ing-suit in badminton, and Ng Tai-long in triathlon, the collective spirit of perseverance and sportsmanship has shown through. Haughey's gratitude towards her support system and her advice to young dreamers highlight the importance of community and determination in achieving success. Her journey and the efforts of all Hong Kong athletes serve as a powerful reminder of the hard work and passion required to reach the pinnacle of sport. South China Morning Post, Olympic champion Sarah Sjostrom has encouraged Siobhan Haughey to continue swimming as long as she enjoys it, following Haughey's bronze medal in the 100-meter freestyle at the Paris Olympics. Sjostrom, who won gold in the same event, emphasized the importance of enjoying the journey and focusing on the details of training rather than just medals. Haughey, at 26, is considering her future in the sport, weighing the joy of training against the physical demands. Her unique training regimen, which includes international camps, keeps her motivated and engaged. Sjostrom's own career, marked by perseverance and success despite setbacks, serves as an inspiration. Both swimmers have shown the younger generation what can be achieved with dedication and a love for the sport. Haughey's decision to continue may hinge on whether the enjoyment of her training outweighs the challenges, but her passion and the camaraderie with her teammates suggest a bright future ahead. South China Morning Post, Eva Longoria and her family were recently seen enjoying the beach in Marbella, Spain, following their temporary relocation to the country. Longoria, who plans to spend much of the year working there, celebrated Father's Day with her husband, José Bastón, and their son, Santiago Enrique Bastón. Bastón, a former president of Televisa, met Longoria in 2009, though their first meeting left little impression. It wasn't until they reconnected in 2013 that sparks flew. They married in a star-studded ceremony in 2016 and welcomed their son in 2018. Bastón, who prefers to maintain a low profile, continues to support Longoria while managing his own ventures, including the independent studio Elefantec Global. Telegraph, the recent prisoner swap between Russia and the West has brought joy to Yevgenia Kara-Murza, whose husband, Vladimir Kara-Murza, was released after being imprisoned and nearly killed twice by Vladimir Putin's regime. While this exchange has reunited families, it also raises concerns about the implications of state hostage-taking as a bargaining tool. Putin's actions suggest a willingness to use such tactics to secure the return of Russian spies and criminals, potentially worsening the situation. As international tensions rise, the challenge for Western nations will be to protect their citizens without capitulating to such blackmail, a dilemma that remains unresolved despite the immediate relief for the families involved. South China Morning Post: jazz trumpeter Ambrose Akinmusire has announced his musical rebirth with the album Beauty Is Enough, recorded in a single 4-hour session at Parish Church of St. Eustache. This album marks his departure from Blue Note Records to Nonesuch Records, seeking greater creative freedom. Akinmusire's recent work, including All Song, reflects his exploration of bassless music and his desire to challenge conventional jazz norms. Growing up in Oakland, California, Akinmusire found solace in music, inspired by trumpet legends like Roy Hargrove. Despite his success, Akinmusire remains committed to authenticity and innovation, navigating the complexities of the music industry while staying true to his artistic vision. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
News breaks, buzz the ground, stories spin, walls come down, voices merge in the sound, faces mix in the crowd, broadcasters paint the scene, world events on our screen, every link a different theme, words collide in the stream, 6 degrees connect the dots, background stories more than knots. The voices rise aloft, truth unveils in every spot, cultures clash across the globe, spin the threads in a strobe, every story wears a robe, truth and lies in their code, journalists dig real deep, secrets out, they don't sleep, every angle they will keep. In the news we take a leap, new perspectives day by day.